Donald Trump says Wall Street is stealing the American dream of homeownership. Is he just saying what everyone's thinking, or is this a political game with dangerous consequences? The dream of owning a home, that little piece of America you can call your own, feels like it's slipping away for millions. But the competition for that dream home isn't just the couple down the street anymore. It's a faceless corporation with a multi-billion-dollar war chest, ready to slap down cash and turn your potential future into their next rental property. Now, former President Donald Trump is sounding the alarm. He just signed a new executive order aimed at what he calls the corporate takeover of American neighborhoods. We're going to break down what this order actually does, whether it can really make homes more affordable, and peel back the layers on whether this is a genuine move to save Main Street, or a political bombshell that could backfire spectacularly. If you want more breakdowns on the policies that actually affect your wallet and your future, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next report. Section 1. The problem. Wall Street moves to Main Street. For years now, something strange has been happening in the housing market. First-time homebuyers are finding themselves in brutal bidding wars, not just against other families, but against massive institutional investors. These aren't your friendly neighborhood landlords. We're talking about private equity firms and Wall Street giants with access to what feels like unlimited cash. Trump's argument is pretty simple. These corporations can outbid regular families almost every time. This shrinks the already tiny supply of homes for sale and artificially pumps up prices. This isn't just happening in a few hot markets. It's a nationwide trend. Investors are allegedly targeting entire communities, buying up dozens of homes at a time, and transforming streets from owner-occupied neighborhoods into corporate-owned rental zones. Speaking at the World Economic Forum in Davos on January 21, 2026, Trump didn't mince words. He declared, "America will not become a nation of renters," framing this as a direct attack on the country's identity. He accused these firms of treating homes not as places to build a life, but as just another asset on a spreadsheet. In his words, people live in homes, not corporations. The White House fact sheet that came with his new policy blames this trend for boxing families out of the market. And while the exact numbers are debated, in some zip codes, these investors have reportedly snapped up as much as 10% of the single-family housing stock. It creates this tangible feeling of being locked out. The for sale sign, once a symbol of opportunity, is increasingly being replaced by a permanent for rent sign, managed by some distant corporate office. The heart of Trump's warning is that homeownership, what he calls the pinnacle of the American dream, is being systematically dismantled and turned into a recurring revenue stream for Wall Street. Section 2. The solution. Unpacking the executive order. So, what's Trump's big plan to fix this? On January 20th, 2026, he signed an executive order with a very aggressive title, Stopping Wall Street from Competing with Main Street Homebuyers. But while the title is a sledgehammer, the actual mechanics are a bit more like a scalpel. First, and this is the key takeaway, this is not a ban on corporations buying houses. Instead, the order tries to weaponize the federal government's massive influence over the mortgage market. It basically tells a bunch of federal agencies, HUD, the Treasury, the VA, and others, to stop helping large investors buy up single-family homes. It does this by aiming to cut off the flow of federal money. The order demands new rules that would prevent federal programs from approving, insuring, or guaranteeing mortgages for large-scale investors buying single-family homes. The goal is to make it way more expensive and difficult for these firms to finance their shopping sprees. To help with this, the order also promotes first-look policies, which would give individual buyers an exclusive window to make an offer on a house before any investors can even get in the door. But there are some huge unknowns and one massive loophole. The order gives the Treasury Secretary just 30 days to define what a large institutional investor and a single-family home even are. Those definitions will decide whether this policy has real teeth or is just a paper tiger. Meanwhile, agencies like HUD have 60 days to identify which of these big players are using federal programs, and the loophole. The order explicitly does not apply to build-to-rent communities. This means corporations are still completely free to buy up land and build entire new neighborhoods from scratch with the sole purpose of renting them out. Finally, there's a law enforcement angle. The order directs the Department of Justice and the FTC to go after institutional investors for anti-competitive behavior, like colluding to drive up rents or intentionally keeping homes vacant to manipulate prices. Section 3. The reality check. Yowdy, will it actually work? So, is this the silver bullet that finally saves the day for first-time homebuyers? Well, a lot of housing experts are saying, not so fast. While the executive order makes for great political theater, many legal and industry analysts predict its actual market impact will be pretty limited. A big reason for the skepticism is just how vague the order is. It's built on definitions that haven't been written yet, and enforcement that hasn't been created. That ambiguity is a wide-open invitation for legal challenges that could tie the whole thing up in court. More importantly, the order only restricts purchases made with federal backing. Many of these giant investment firms have pockets deep enough to just switch to private financing, sidestepping these new rules entirely. And the order does absolutely nothing to force these companies to sell the hundreds of thousands of homes they already own. It's an attempt to slow the bleeding, not to reverse the damage. This all leads to the biggest criticism leveled by housing policy experts. They argue that while Wall Street is a convenient villain, they're really just a symptom of a much deeper disease, a chronic decades-long housing shortage in the U.S. For generations, America simply has not built enough homes to keep up with its population. When supply is that tight, prices are going to explode, with or without Wall Street. From this view, trying to regulate a small slice of the buyers doesn't do much to solve the root problem. If there aren't enough homes to go around, making it a little easier for one group to get a loan won't magically make a house appear for them. Interestingly, Trump himself seemed to hint at this balancing act at Davos. While he blasted investors for jacking up prices, he also acknowledged the risk of a market crash, which could wipe out the equity of existing middle-class homeowners. It's a dangerous tightrope walk. How do you make housing affordable for new buyers without tanking the main source of wealth for everyone who already owns? Section 4. The political chessboard. If the economic game is uncertain, the political game is crystal clear. This executive order is a masterclass in political messaging. It perfectly frames Trump as the guy fighting for the little guy against the shadowy elites on Wall Street. It checks a major box on a promise he made and speaks directly to voters who feel like the system is rigged against them. But the reaction from his own party shows just how tricky this issue is. Support from congressional Republicans has been cautious, to say the least. The chairman of the House Financial Services Committee, French Hill, is essentially saying, let's wait and see. Others, like Representative Roger Williams, support the idea, but are nervous about the government meddling in private markets. And some, like Representative Scott Perry, would much rather see solutions like tax incentives than outright restrictions. This hesitation shows that while bashing Wall Street is always popular, the Republican Party is still, at its core, the party of free market capitalism. This executive order is a populist grenade tossed right into the middle of the GOP's free market ideology. It pits the working class dream of owning a home against the capitalist engine of investment, and that battle is happening right inside the Republican Party itself. So, where does this leave us? Trump has definitely fired a warning shot at America's corporate landlords. He's delivered an executive order that is politically brilliant and taps into the very real fear that the American dream is being sold off, one house at a time. But it may be more of a political statement than a real solution. Experts doubt it will seriously move the needle on home prices, since it doesn't force companies to sell the homes they already own, and, most importantly, does nothing to fix the core problem. We just don't have enough houses. It's an attack on a very visible symptom, but maybe not the disease itself. So I'll turn it over to you. Is this a genuine move to save the American dream, or just a brilliant political play that won't actually help you buy a home? Let me know what you think down in the comments, and if you want more breakdowns of the policies that are shaping our world, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel.